ain't go to off on 1090 Jake trying to play with Larry
Oh
Hoover.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I forgot about that. Damn, I wish we would have talked about that before Big Gang got up off this.
Wait, damn, he gone?
Yeah, he gone because he said his phone was finna die.
Oh hell no! I'm finna
Damn.
call this man.
Damn, I forgot. Yeah, call that real quick, bro. Tell that put it on charge or something. We gotta talk about this before we jump up off this hole, bro. If y'all don't know, 1090 Jake basically dropped a video saying he basically trying to say Larry Hoover a rat. That's what he doing, bro. And he do this every time somebody just get out of jail. Soon as somebody blow up or something, bro, he here come 1090 Jake, man, with some type of goddamn paperwork on somebody. It's crazy.
It's always somebody black though. Like
This
nigga,
shit from the 60s too. This shit, he talking about some shit that happened in the 60s.
no,
Sheesh.
not a timeline, bro. Why do you always gotta speak on a black person? Like
Yeah,
I
that's
think
well,
just weird, bro.
I
didn't
mean, cause we run this shit. We run the media. Ain't nobody gonna care if it's about a white person. Ain't nobody gonna care if it's about a Mexican. Only time somebody gonna care and pay attention to it is if it's a black person. What you was saying, Jet?
no, yeah, I think somebody. Well, I know before they've done it, but I think somebody else may. I think Point and Shoot may have ran some content just recently. That's who it was because I saw King AK-47 talking about it. But Point and Shoot did some stuff exposing 1090J. So I don't know if y'all seen that. I meant to watch
No,
that,
I
but
didn't see that. I didn't see that.
See
Okay, we
what?
got
I
Big
came
Gang
back. I had
back
to go
on here.
move and charge my phone. What y'all
Nah,
see?
fact. Nah, fact. We was he was talking about the something that King AK was breaking down that somebody had found some paperwork or something on 1090 Jake. When I get
Point and
off the
Shoot.
show, I'm gonna have to go tap into it because I didn't see that.
Man,
I
ooh,
didn't see
all
that one.
right, all right.
But
Yeah, Point and
I
Shoot. He
remember we
be
was talking
tapped
about
in
this
with it.
before we hopped on live, bro. How you feel about 1090? You know, you the GD spokesperson for Pop Austin Media. You know what I'm saying? You the GD guy. So how you
I'm gonna
feel
be
about
real, bro.
1090
I'm
trying to do that to Larry Hoover?
I'm gonna give a quick history lesson. I got some time. I got some juice on my phone now. First of all, the that Larry Hoover shot supposedly said it himself that Larry Hoover did not snitch on him. So, however you try to discredit, if I say it ain't snitch on me, whether I snitch, didn't snitch, whatever. If I say it ain't tell on me, a nigga ain't tell on me. What you can't make a tell on me, whether the newspaper saying it or not. I know what a nigga did.
Then 1090 Jake going off an article from the 1960s. Like, get your so you don't even
Yeah,
got no intel for real, man.
ain't no
You just
real
talking.
paperwork, ain't no statements. So I'm gonna say this, and so forgive me, Jed. So I'm gonna just say this, and all
Said,
Jed,
forgive me, Jay. Oh my god.
1090J, and this is how I say this about 1090J. 1090J always trying to discredit anybody of stature that's black. It could be mine. Anybody that could seem cool, got something for the moment going on. Somehow, some way, 1090. Back to what I was saying earlier. 1090J can find some paperwork on them. He can talk about somebody. He like they give him the platform to call any and everybody a snitch. And we are reality. He's a fat white dude who hides behind a camera. That's it. That's all. I don't give a fuck about that being from Miami. I don't give a fuck about that being from nowhere. You're just a fat white dude who being a culture vulture and you capitalize off whatever headline is at the moment. And if you can find any police headlines or anything about it, you try to discredit it. No, I don't respect you. I don't like you. I think you fat white trash. I think you sorry. And I think you the worst
Oh,
kind of podcaster there
oh.
is. That's
Hey,
my
hey, hey,
honest
hey,
opinion.
gang, hey, gang. Sevenfold to the world blow.
Now, as far as this goes, on GDN. Now
Yeah,
next,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna give
yeah.
Hell did he?
now I'm gonna give my next synopsis about this. I'm from Chicago. If you can look this up. This is a fact. This is a known fact. He was a police commander. He just got convicted maybe 15 years ago. He was a part of the gang units from the 60s to the late 80s, early 90s, where he abused hundreds and thousands of gang members, sent them wrongfully to jail, accusations, all types of shit. Cook
Yeah.
County just had to pay out damn near $100 million in lawsuits about this nigga. The police force in Chicago is the most corrupt police force in the country. This is a fact. This is you can all this I'm saying. You can when Jet put this up, He can Google. You can put the facts up, Jay. You can Google this. And you can put the Google facts up. This is a fact check. Chicago has the most corrupt police department and infrastructure in the country. Not New York, not New Orleans, not Atlanta, Chicago. Why is that? Because Chicago is also the most segregated city in the country. I tell you all the time, I did not live next to white people until I moved to Texas. The first time I seen white people in abundance is when I moved to Texas. No bullshit. When Chicago, I only seen white people if I went to a certain area. Other than that, no. Swear to God. The gang unit in the 1960s is the same gang units and tactics that was investigating Fred Hampton and the Black Panthers and worked with COINTELPRO, the FBI. It was not uncommon in the 60s for the gang task force to use guerrilla tactics such as false media and propaganda against gang leaders. Why? Because back then, if I put in the newspaper that the gangster disciple leader Larry Hoover shot a rival, or a rival shot him, and he snitched, that discredits him amongst his crowd or amongst his group of flock or people that's following him. These are the people that put many and countless spies and double agents and people into the Black Panthers, the Black Keystone Rangers. I could go on and on about this. This is a fact. So I'm supposed to believe a newspaper article that just say he told, that say that man told, or say he told somebody? That got in trouble for shooting Larry Hoover said he didn't snitch.
Yep, I seen that.
And he's a known OG. Like, he playing with niggas like 1090 Jake won't go to Chicago and say that shit from somewhere. Because to kill him for that. That shit real. That shit a religion to niggas, bro. Like me, personally, I don't have a problem saying this. I'm a GD first and a father right after that. Really, to be honest with you, up as it sound, it's really 1A and 1B to me. And then number 2. Then so niggas can, that's just what the that is. I'm a GD for him anything. I'm a gangster disciple, then I'm a father right after that, and a man. All that shit go hand in hand to me if you ask me, because it's growth and development. So all that shit go together, hand in hand. You playing with a nigga like Larry Hoover, like a nigga can't get something, like it ain't GDs in Florida, like it ain't GDs in Georgia right next to you and right by you that'll do something to you. That'll really do, like, you ain't bigger than the mob. That's one thing I tell niggas, ain't nobody bigger than the program. Ain't nobody bigger than the mob. Ain't nobody bigger than this mob. So why do you think that's cool? And niggas praise 1090J for doing that shit. Ain't no paperwork on Larry Hoover. It's just a newspaper article that say, witness statement says, Larry Hoover said that this person shot him. Of course, this is 1966. Of course, if the newspaper, who was controlled by the mayor, the police department, say one of the main top gang leaders, who's at this time, you don't understand. Gang banging is horrible now, but don't realize how bad gang banging was in the 60s and the 70s when it was new. Do you know how hard cripping hit LA?
But didn't that stuff normally start from, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it the police, the hood, from racism, from cops? Like, that's how the gang started, and then it developed into something crazier.
Jeff Ford was the hero. Jeff Ford was the hero. You got to remember, this was a time of social, economic, and change. Nigga, the Black Keystone Rangers, this is Googleable. Look it up. The Black Keystone Rangers had $1 million grant from the Department of Education for the Woodline Organization program. They was doing job training programs. The GDs too, and the Vice Lords. They had summer food programs. This is in Chicago. Like, I know this shit because this shit is my history. My grandfather is a Vice Lord. My granddaddy ran with Willie Lloyd. My family tree is polluted as. My mama was a Vice Lord. My mama's a conservative Vice Lord. My grandfather's an Undertaker Vice Lord. They've been that for years. They was doing that shit. That shit been on. That's why Chicago gangsterism is a lot more militant than most gang cultures, because we come from summer food programs. We come from food drives for the kids. We come from Save the Children concerts. We come from when they book at the Chicago State. I'll never forget, I was 10 years old. I was 11 years old. Crucial Conflict had a concert at Chicago State University with Do or Die and all the top niggas. Do you know the GDs had buses at all the projects, and they had all the kids on each bus from every project at Chicago State University to see the show. They've been doing this shit for years. That niggas don't, we come from that. This last 10, 15, 20 years, this last 15 years, y'all don't see this new shit. This new shit. And even then, if you look at the new niggas in Chicago, look at Dirt. Look at the niggas that we come from that. We come from philanthropy. Since Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover. We come from Willie Lloyd and them niggas and Benny Lee. We come from philanthropy because we learned from the Panthers. You gotta understand, Fred Hampton, the Black Panther charter started in Chicago. We learned from the Panthers. All our gang ideologies we get from Chicago that don't understand and don't know, we got that from the Panthers. The laws and we put it into our own lingo and our own culture, but we learned from the Panthers. So that wasn't far-fetched back then in 1960 for the police to create a fake article or put something in an article saying Larry Hoover, a prominent gang leader at the time who was only 15 years old and controlled of 30,000, damn near 5,000. Just imagine being 15 years old and being controlled of 5,000 grown-ass men. These are the type of power that had back then. So when like 1090 Jake just be like, yeah, he snitched. Nah, bro, I want the world to do your homework. Start going back and looking at what times he was in. This is 1966. This is J. Edgar Hoover and the FBI. This is COINTELPRO. They're destroying black nationalist organizations. They're destroying the Panthers. They're purposely targeting all black national organizations to be disrupted and dismantled because they are a fear of a white nation. So that's not far-fetched to hear that Larry Hoover, oh yeah, he told that this nigga shot him. Because guess what? It's 1966. Wasn't nobody getting on the internet and Googling this shit. Wasn't no Facebook, wasn't no Instagram. Wasn't no social media. So for 1090 J to come up there, I'm sorry I'm going on a rant like this, but that's I hold near and dear to me. And for a nigga to play like that, or a nigga to take that shit and try to make a mockery of it, you don't know where it comes from. So for you to take an article from 1966 and try to turn it a white man, a piece of white trash, and to be honest with you, how I feel, I don't even look at white. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even like saying like this, bro, because I love people. I love Jet. He really black. Jet ran really Jethro. So that's just what that is. But on some real, that's personal to me because how I just explained that whole history to y'all, it's a white man taking that and using it for propaganda in the media to discredit an old leader that people may still look up to. To this down with no to say, bro, Larry Hoover probably may be the only chance, one of the few chances to calm down some of the violence in Chicago. He might be the last hope because niggas still respect him. It's enough fathers out here that still know who he is. It's enough older niggas who still know who he is. It's still enough niggas in that penitentiary and it's young niggas. That's why I told niggas, the best thing, if niggas know, if you know like I know, the best thing that could have happened was Larry Hoover going back to Illinois. Why? Because he in the Illinois Departments of Corrections. He can talk to the rank instructor that's in the jails because if you know like I know, if you in the streets, who run the streets for real? The jails. Who run the streets? Who really call the shots? The niggas in jail. Who really call rank and file? The jails, the that's locked up. So you put Larry Hoover in a system where it's all these younger that ain't got nothing but to learn from the most notorious gangster in the last 50 years in Chicago. Fuck that. United States history.
Yeah, the history.
Telling them this ain't where you need to be. Go home and make a difference. And Larry Hoover, I'm gonna let y'all in on something else. Larry Hoover, like the rest of them hoes in the joint in Illinois. See, I tell this all the time. It's a different world between Chicago streets and Chicago jail. Chicago jail ain't no BDK or GDK. Ain't none of that. It's Black Gangster Disciple Nation. And if you don't get on the court, we gonna beat your ass. Just a man like, bro, why you ain't going to pull paperwork on David Duke? Why you ain't talking about Charles? Here's the thing. Why ain't nobody telling him about white culture? And I want this clipped up too, Jet. Why ain't nobody telling this about go research white culture? Why you ain't looking up Charles Manson? Why you ain't looking up the Zodiac Killer? Why you ain't looking up Son of Sam? Why you ain't looking up the motherfucking Unicorn Bomber? The Unicorn Bomber, whatever the fuck that name is. The Unabomber. Why you not looking up that nigga? Why you not looking up the Menendez brothers? Why you ain't pulling paperwork on all the white criminals? Whitey Bulger was a snitch. Nigga, if you know who Whitey Bulger was, Black Mass, Johnny Depp movie, he was a snitch. Half of the niggas in the Mafia was a snitch.
Facts.
Michael Francese was a snitch. Nigga,
Facts.
who else? Sammy the Bull was a snitch. Why are we not telling him to go to white culture and do this? Ain't nobody said none of this shit. It's more snitches in white culture than it is black culture.